Howdy there folks, my name is Skeeter McFleeter and today we are going to be putting some new parts on Jesse's old truck. So first off, I'm going to show y'all a little bit what we're working with. This truck is Jesse's old Dodge truck named Oliver. So Jesse asked me to show y'all how to make some MSD spark plug wires. So since we gonna make all new spark plug wires and I want to know the links that were already on those, I'm gonna just go ahead and take all of them off as a group and then make them on the bench, and I will show y'all how to do that. However, if you do decide to do it in this manner, you also have to make sure that when you put it back that you check the firing order. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get that off and show you how to make these here wires. Okay y'all, so I got my old cap and my spark plug wires here. I'm going to use these to judge length for the new beautiful spark plug wires. Now these spark plug wires that I got are a universal type, and with that being said, they ship them to you a little bit long so you can cut them to the length that you want, which is really nice because you can route them however you want. You also get the boots to go on the end with all of your fittings that you will have to crimp onto the wires, and you also got yourself a nice little tool here that we can do that crimping with. I'm gonna just take the length of these, cut these to match them, throw them on the new rotor and throw them back in the truck. Okay, what I'm gonna do with these here wires first is I'm gonna separate them out because there should be two really long ones, two long-ish long ones, two medium ones, and two short-ish ones. And then there's also one oddball out that is for the coil. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the old cap, place it on here with the new cap, lengthen both of these wires down. Now, as we see, there's a lot of extra tail on here. I am going to go all the way out here past this boot because we're going to have to strip this wire back and fold the inner tube in on the outside of it. So it needs a little bit extra room so it can fold back and still be the same length. Now the next step involves our nifty little tool that came in our kit. What we has to do next is throw this here wire through this hole here, right? Like so. You go all the way to the end there. Alright, now what we got to do is take our razor blade, right? We'll cut it down on here. Spin our wire underneath it. Out of the contraption, spin the end of this, pull her off, and we got a stripped wire. Now next thing we must do is get into our pack of little goodies here. And we must get one of the crimp ends. Now, with mine having 90° and an HEI terminal on our new cap, we have to use these here connectors. It will pop down on top of there. Now there are other models that use the style like this that stick out. That's for a female cap. But on this one we'll be using these little doohickeys. Now, as you notice, the end of this is nice and flared out, which is good when we go to put it over our wire. However, when we go to put it in this little tool doohickey thingamabobber right here, it ain't so good, right? So we got to make sure once we get it around the wire to crimp it closed a little bit before we put it in the tool. Then it should theoretically crimp correctly. To get this on the wire, you must take that center section that we got, fold it over, alright, so that it is on the side of the wire, and then put your nice little connector on top of that folded over section. Now it's just sitting there. Now it's where we got to kind of crimp it. So we got to push it together. I like to use a set of pliers. Well, I got those fast. And then we go ahead and give her a little squeeze right there. Okay, good job. Now, as we can see in this little block thingy bobber right here, is a raised section. Now, when this crimps, it does a double crimp on this here thing. So you want to make sure that little section that's open goes down in the tool. Kind of push her down in there like so that it is in. Then we're going to take this other little section right here, and it will collapse over like that. You put it over here in your vise, then you just tighten this here vise down. And then voila, just like that, you have a crimped end on your wire. There is one more step to having this to be a completed wire that can go on the here vehicle. That is taking your end, putting it on there. Now getting this boot on is not the easiest thing in the world, so I like to use a little bit of lube, just squirt it in there just a little bit. And that right there will help you slide this right up in there. You should just slide right in. There you have it. We have our first spark plug wire done. Now we just got to do it, 8 more times. And yes, I can do math. Alright, there's one for the coil. Well, alrighty then. Now that was pretty darn simple now there, wasn't it? Okay, now that we got all these here spark plug wires done, we do have a little bit of oil in here that we had from putting them there boots on. So I got me some Q-tips, and I'm going to just go down into one of these, and I'm going to kind of clean them out a little bit, get a little bit of that oil residue out of there, and then that way I can put my here dielectric grease down in there to keep her all good and rust corrosion free. Well, now it is time to go work on the truck, which means I get to pull out this next new fun little part here, which is the cap and rotor assembly. If I can get her open. There it is. See, we got a whole bunch of paperwork and everything up inside here. Whenever you get your rotor, if you get an MSD rotor, it will come with a little ticket thingamabobber. Now, as you can see here, on this ticket there's a nice little notch thingamabobber. You need to set that right there over your lead, and you got to make sure that lead comes up there to that notch and in between. On this side it shows you that there is a minimum and a maximum. Make sure it falls within that, otherwise you is going to have some arcing issues, and that's not fun right there. So make sure that's within tolerance, and we can take this here tag off. One thing to note is there is one side has a square and one side has a circle, so it can only be put on the distributor one way, which is good because then that means we can't clock it wrong. Just have that in mind. Make sure you put it on the right way, or don't try to force it on the wrong way. Drop your little rotor down on there. There it is. Take your Phillips head screwdriver and you're gonna tighten her up. Okay, now we got our rotor in there. Now we gotta put our nice new cap on. Now, it also only has one way, and it's got a positioning pin on it, so make sure you put it in the proper way. To lock down the cap, you have 2 Phillips head screws that have a little whoopty on the bottom of it. That dang there go hooked underneath them distributor. Rotor is on there. Now we can put them there new wires that we made on there. Okay, so I got my number 1 spark plug wire right here. I know the number 1 place on the cap is right here, so I'm gonna take this here spark plug wire and put it here. Now, because I did mine a little bit differently and did it in sets of 2, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the other one of this set of 2 on there as well, which this would be number 3. So the firing order of a small block Mopar is 184-365-72. So if we have number 1 right here, we got 1, 8, 4, 3. So we want the number 3. So my next 2 here spark plug wires are 2 and 4, which are the front 2 cylinders on the opposite side. By deduction of the longer and the shorter, I'm going to do Mr. number 4 first, because it happens to lie with 184. So it's on the proper side here, so it will be a little bit shorter of a wire. And we're going to go ahead and throw 2, which is right before 1, because it is the last cylinder to fire. Okay, so my next 2 we got here are 5 and 7, which are the back 2 over here, which are closest to their respective cylinders, and they're right beside each other. So first we gonna do 5, which goes from this back one right here, and then number 7 here goes from this one right here down to the back one on the driver's side. Okay, and we got our last 2 spark plug wires here, which will be 6 and 8, which are the back 2 cylinders over here on the passenger side. And get Mr. 6 out of the way because it's the one that's a pain in the butt, which will be the longer of the 2. It goes to the very back of the distributor facing the firewall. And then number 8, which 18675, or no, it's not the right number, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. 8 is the second cylinder to fire, so we're gonna go ahead and get that on its correct spot. Well, thank y'all for joining me. I hope you guys learned a little bit about them there spark plugs, and I hope you enjoyed your time hanging out with me here in the garage, Mr. Old Skeeter. And I'm gonna sign off for today, so thank you for joining me. If you guys liked the video, please remember to hit a good nice thumbs up. That would be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel to see some more amazing content like this, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That would be great. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I'm gonna pray real quick for y'all. So Father, I just pray for all these fellers that are out here working on them their cars, and you just help them as they work on their projects, and you just give them the feeling of having your presence with them today, Father. And I thank you and praise you for it. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey guys, have a blessed all day, and I'll talk at y'all next time.